Welcome to another story made by Oracle 1. The night air was thick with the hushed excitement of a secret plan taking shape beneath the indifferent gaze of the cold stars. What began as a simple high school prank had spiraled into an event none of the students at Crestwood High would ever forget. They called it the fire. A bonfire, lit in the darkness of the old quarry behind the school, became something far more sinister than they ever intended. It whispered secrets, true ones, and dangerous, deadly. The pact was made on a chilly October afternoon in the school's dilapidated library. As the creeping twilight filtered through forgotten shelves, a group of 5 seniors gathered in a tight circle. Each was a misfit in their own right, branded by the school's harsh social rules and their own hidden pasts. Jamie, the quick-witted prankster, had conceived the plan: light a bonfire in the quarry, leave a few ghostly messages scrawled nearby, and spook the underclassmen during the annual Halloween festivities. It was meant to be harmless mischief, the kind that would elevate their status without getting anyone truly hurt. But Jamie's idea was about to take a dark turn. No one remembered who had first heard the whisper. It was subtle, barely more than a tease on the edge of hearing, but it came from the fire itself. The first night, when they gathered to light the blaze, the flames flickered violently, casting odd shapes and shadows that looked almost like faces. The woods around the quarry, dense with ancient pines and stripped birch trees, seemed to lean in closer, as if watching with keen interest. No one spoke of the whispers at first, dismissing them as the crackling wind or their own overactive imaginations fueled by adrenaline and shadows. But as the fire roared, the whispering grew clearer. Faint at first, it slipped through the crackle and pop of the flames, a sibilant voice weaving through the night. "You want to know what secrets hide beneath?" it asked. The voice was neither male nor female, emanating as much from the rustling of the leaves as from the licking firelight. Jamie, emboldened by the growing fear, leaned in closest. "Show me," he murmured. Immediately the fire flared, scorching embers popping like hellish sparks into the night air. Then came the first secret, whispered with sickening clarity, revealing truths about their classmates and teachers that no one should have known. Molly, the quiet girl who sat 3 seats ahead of Jamie in English class, had not been sick last Thursday. Instead, she had skipped school to meet a man twice her age. It was true, Jamie confirmed later, from an anonymous source in their yearbook committee, but what truly unnerved them was the fire's voice saying where Molly hid her shameful secret, under the floorboards of the old gymnasium. One by one, the secrets spilled out. Each revelation was a shard of glass cutting at the fragile facades that people wore during daylight at Crestwood High. Forbidden affairs, hidden addictions, unspeakable betrayals. None could question the veracity of the fire's whispers. When people confronted the accused, the truths matched undisputed evidence. Some secrets were so grave they fragmented nerves instead of friendships. The fire did not discriminate. It exposed the guilty and the innocent alike. The group of students who started it all found themselves drawn back night after night to the bonfire. They feared and yet craved the whispered truths, as if desperate to unearth the darkest corners of their small town. But the fire wanted more. It was not just a teller of secrets but a living hunger. With each truth spoken, it grew stronger. Then the whispers darkened in tone. The fire began murmuring threats and warnings. "He watches you. Anywhere you hide, he finds. The betrayal will come from within. Trust no one. The quarry keeps its prison open." The messages were cryptic but laden with menace. The students felt cold fingers gripping their spines whenever the fire spoke thus. Soon, shadows, darker than night, crept from the edge of the woods, shadows that did not belong to anyone standing nearby. On the 6th night, the fire revealed its most terrifying secret. It warned of a danger slumbering beneath the quarry itself, a malevolence tied to the spirit of the land. Decades ago, the quarry had been the site of a horrific event, a cult's massacre that the town had successfully hidden from history. Children had vanished, bodies had been burned beneath the earth. No one spoke of it, for to do so was said to invite a curse. "You must stop," whispered the fire violently, embers flying high as if in alarm, "or the darkness will consume you all." But the students, intoxicated by power and fear, could not stop. Jamie, who had first dreamed the prank, began taking frantic notes while the others listened with wide eyes. The fire spoke of individuals among them and their families who were intertwined with that ancient darkness in ways no one realized. As the flame crackled, it hissed a name, and with a flash of remembered horror, Jamie recognized it. The cruel math teacher, Mr. Lyle, whose icy stare had always unsettled faculty and students alike. The fire claimed he was a descendant of the cultists, and worse, he was trying to complete the ancient ritual to awaken the darkness fully. Frightened but desperate, the group decided to confront Lyle. That night, under the cover of thick mist and dying moonlight, they followed him from the school toward the quarry's edge. Lyle moved with a purpose, clutching what looked like an obscure antique object wrapped in tattered cloth. His footsteps were oddly silent, but the air around him shimmered faintly, the fire's warnings echoing in their minds like a dire chant. Suddenly, the fire in the quarry burst into infernal life. It was no longer a simple pile of burning wood but a towering conflagration, tendrils of flame morphing into shapes. Human faces twisted in torment, clawing tendrils of smoke stretching like spectral hands. The students watched in horror as Lyle stood at its edge, chanting in a language older than time. The ground trembled and cracked, fiery fissures opening in the earth to reveal shadowy, shifting forms beneath. One of the students, Sarah, screamed and sprinted back toward town, but the fire's whisper stopped her cold. "You cannot run what is already inside you," it hissed, echoing around her head. The flames reached upwards, twisting into a fiery pillar that eclipsed the stars, casting a hellish glow across the quarry. Jamie, hearts pounding, summoned the courage to step closer. "Stop, you're burning us all." The fire snapped and spat sparks near his feet, as if mocking his impudence. Lyle turned, his eyes glowing with unnatural light, his smile cold and cruel. The darkness must rise, to cleanse this place of the lies and masks, to reveal the truth beneath everything. Jamie realized then that the fire was not merely a curse or a prank gone wrong, but a gateway. It was a voice for an ancient darkness that fed on secrets, feeding chaos and destruction. The fire spoke louder and louder, pulling the students into a maelstrom of revelation and terror. The faces in the flames cried out in agony, the dead from past atrocities demanding justice and vengeance. Suddenly, with a scream that blended with the crackle and roar, the earth beneath them split wide open. A deep, dark void yawned beneath the quarry, where shadow creatures clawed to escape the underground prison centuries old. The cult's pact had bound them there, but the fire was breaking the chains. Jamie and the others barely escaped with their lives, running into the woods as the hellfire consumed the night. In the aftermath, the town of Crestwood was left altered forever. Authorities found the quarry burned to ash, but no one could explain the scorched, unnatural shapes burned into the rock and soil, like the faces of the damned. Rumors spread of strange disappearances, sudden accidents, and whispers in the wind that chilled the blood. Yet, despite all, the fire's whispering had not ceased. Sometimes, when midnight falls and the wind carries smoke across the sleepy town, people swear they hear a voice, beckoning, whispering secrets they might not want to know, secrets best left buried under the cold earth. Jamie never forgot the fire's final warning as he left town, eyes shadowed with dread and understanding. Some truths come with a terrible price, and some fires, once lit, never truly go out. For more stories, like and subscribe.